Hey guys, welcome back. Another day, another wonderful design exercise that I, Abhinandan, will be walking you through. As you know, on the Edyst channel, we've been running this series of webinars, these series of live coding challenges, and we do this as part of our web bootcamp series of webinars, wherein we help we pick one beautiful design from the internet, very functional, usually of websites that are used by people all over the world. Right, so we pick one of those websites, we pick one of those designs, something beautiful, something creative, and then we try to do, we try to code using HTML, CSS. We try to make a web page that kind of looks like the website or the design that we went for. Right, so I hope you're excited, because today we will be building the landing page, okay, which means the home page of one of the software applications that I think I have used the most in my professional career in the last 3 or 4 years, okay, and that application is nothing other than Slack. For students, again, I'm not sure if you know of Slack, but if you're a working professional, I'd be willing to bet anything that you've heard of Slack, you've used Slack, and if you've used Slack, you've loved Slack. Okay, that's just the kind of beautiful, wonderful, useful application that it is. Plenty of reasons to like Slack. Okay, they've got a fantastic UI team. Okay, just beautiful web pages. The landing page is amazing. Their marketing pages are beautiful. The app is, oh my god, okay, just so many nice things to say about it. Working with a team remotely in the last few the last few months, it would have been a lot more difficult, I can tell you that, if we did not have Slack. Okay, that's how much I rate and value Slack, and I'm really happy to be able to kind of guide you guys through building their homepage, okay, their landing page. Simple, clean, and yeah, in just a bit we're going to take a look at that. Right, so just 1 second, let me make sure everything's up and running. Okay, if you guys are able to hear me loud and clear, just give me a quick shout out on the chat, and then I'm going to take just 2 minutes to take a couple of questions that you guys already have. It's really happy to see you guys, that you guys are chatting on Slack. So just 1 second. Able to hear me loud? All right. Okay. So first question that I'm going to take is from Chanchal Sadhu Khan. Okay, sorry if I got your last name wrong. It's new to me. So Chanchal is asking which technologies will be used. So to build this, because I want it to be like a friendly, I want to help absolute beginners just kind of fall in love with web development. Okay, I want to probably show to you guys that you don't need frameworks, you don't really need heavy duty stuff to build beautiful web pages. So for the purpose of this webinar, I think I'm going to stick with HTML and CSS. I've been doing that for the last few webinars. I know you guys probably want me to build Slack using React. Okay, that's one technology I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of, but in this webinar we'll not do that. Probably in a future webinar for sure. Okay, once I feel like I've done a series of webinars that beginners can enjoy, that people who are new to web development can enjoy, most definitely I'm going to pick up more technologies. We're going to take a look at React. We'll use Bootstrap just for fun. Okay, maybe jQuery. I don't know, it's a little outdated, but I love it. I love that library. Okay, so yeah, so we'll take a look at that. All right, so let me just quickly start. Guys, I come prepared with a presentation. Okay, I do that at the start of every video. Some of you who've been here regularly, you kind of know what this part is about. So if you want to zone off for a couple of minutes, that's fine with me. For people who are new, okay, just reminding you, these are the kind of projects that we've built in the past in this webinar series, right? So this, for instance, the one that you see here is the modern resume that we built. Got a lot of love from you guys, got a lot of likes, and the code that I shared for this, a lot of you viewed it. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I hope you guys are using it. You're building on top of that. You can find this webinar in the related video section. We did a PUBG leaderboard, guys, and some student, I forget their name obviously. So I think a few days after I did the PUBG webinar, the government ended up banning it. So yeah, I got a bit of hate mail for that. No, just kidding, guys. No hate mail, obviously. You guys have been more than kind to me, more than generous. But yeah, in case someone's wondering, no, I had nothing to do with PUBG getting banned. I'm not sure if PUBG is back. I mean, if they allowed it back on the App Store or whatever. We built the Cricinfo Live app. Okay, that was fantastic. I think I'm a huge cricket nerd. Okay, I'm a huge fan. So I loved building that. You can check out that webinar as well. Okay, the IPL is starting, guys. So if I had my way for the next 1 month, I'd just be doing designs around the IPL. Okay, everything IPL flavored. But if you have any interesting ideas, please let us know in the comment section. Okay, I would love for the cricket lovers amongst us to kind of suggest great ideas for future webinars, especially in the month of IPL, right? Okay, so Rupesh is asking, how much CSS should we learn, or just knowing the basics is enough? What are languages should we learn to get a job? This is a wonderful question, Rupesh. I'm so glad you asked it. I'm going to take a quick 2 minutes to kind of walk you through this, because it's a question that a lot of beginner developers usually have, right? What all do we learn? Because if I googled for, hey, how do I become a web developer, thousands of technologies. Oh, React, Babel, ESLint, Prettier, Webpack. You've got to learn Node, Express. So it just it seems like you have to do a 4-year BTech course just in web development to get a job. That is so far from the truth. Okay, that is completely untrue. It has become slightly trickier to build websites these days. A lot of technologies, lot of modern technologies. The most important ones, guys, okay, again, you stick to the fundamentals, you can't really go wrong. Okay, so if you're building websites, if you're building anything for the web, okay, that runs in a web browser, either in your mobile or on your desktop, the browser only understands 3 things. Okay, it understands JavaScript, it understands HTML, and it understands CSS. Okay, now JavaScript is a full-on programming language. Okay, you have for loops, you have classes, you have promises, just a whole thing. Okay, that's a fully featured programming language. HTML and CSS, on the other hand, are very interesting languages. Okay, they're not technically programming languages. Okay, HTML, for instance, the name stands for hypertext markup language. Okay, and these are slightly different as compared to a regular programming language. Okay, so you need to learn HTML, you need to be well versed with CSS. CSS is used to design your web page, to give colors, to give shadows, to you see the rounded corners here. CSS is used to help you build all of that. Okay, and JavaScript is for adding functionality. Now once you learn the basics of these 3, and trust me guys, there isn't a lot. Okay, probably actually if you look at it, HTML has about I don't know, I mean I think it has like 90 or 100 tags, I'm not sure. CSS has some 350 or 400 rules that you need to remember, style rules, a lot of ways in which you can do selectors, combinators, a lot of this grid, flexbox. It would seem like CSS is very, very heavy, but it's actually not. Okay, in HTML you probably need to remember just 15 to 20 tags. Okay, and all of them are so easy. Like to make a paragraph, you just use a P tag. To make an image, you use an IMG tag. Simple, easy. Okay, then you come to CSS. CSS, out of all the 400 properties, and sure, every property is useful. You might use it in your web page if you want, but like regularly you probably need to remember just about 40 or 50 properties. That's it. How to set the font color, how to set the font size, how to change the background color, how do I put an image on the background, how do I arrange things. Okay, so there are just a few properties that you need to remember in CSS and you'll be good. Okay, but here's the catch. Just knowing these properties, like oh, I went ahead and I learned everything about Flexbox. Am I a web developer? No, you're not. Okay, to build one beautiful website, before you build your first beautiful website, you have to build 100 ugly ones. Okay, I mean, you might know 400 properties in CSS, you will still not be able to build a decent website unless you have practice, rigorous practice. Pick any website on the web that you want, try building it. Will it look good on the first attempt? No. Do as much as you can. Copy as much as you can. Go to the next website. Copy as much as you can. Do as much as you can. It's perfectly fine if you don't get it in the first try. It's fine. All you need is a lot of practice. Okay, you need a lot of practice. I'm so happy that a lot of you keep showing up to these webinars. Okay, even if you're just watching, if you're not coding along, it's okay. It's all right. Okay, because I know when you're watching, you're still listening, you're still trying to understand. So some of these rules, some of the HTML elements that we use, you're going to know all of those. Okay, and if you do that, you've done half of the hard work required to become a full-fledged developer. Okay, if you're good at HTML, good at CSS, which means if somebody gives you a design, are you quickly able to make a website out of it? If you're able to do that, you're already halfway there. Okay, you're already making fantastic progress. Then you learn a bit of JavaScript, learn how to add some animations, learn how to toggle switches, learn how to do something on pressing a button, just the basics. Then you learn React. Okay, and trust me guys, React is not this magical oh my god, I mean, React is not the web. Okay, React is not this huge thing that you have to learn. It's simple, it's easy to learn, but it's only easy to learn once you've built 100 websites. Okay, I mean, a lot of people try to learn React to build websites. That's going down the wrong path. Okay, don't do that. Stick to the fundamentals, HTML, CSS, till you can take whatever design I throw at you, you should be able to write it in code. If you're able to do that with HTML, CSS, start learning JavaScript. Once you start learning JavaScript, make your buttons a little interactive, add a couple of small animations here and there, add new elements to the page. Once the fundamentals are set, then pick up React. Okay, and you'll realize that then picking up React is actually just a 3 or 4 day job. All right, so it's not intimidating. Web development is probably the most fun thing you can do while learning. Like, it's one of the most fun things to pick up. It's extremely visual. You get to, I don't know, if you're a C++ or a Java developer, fine. I mean, if you're doing competitive programming, if you're working with algorithms, I guess it's interesting. At the end of the day, you're just printing text onto a black screen. Okay, Java compile and then Java run. I don't know. I mean, I found it interesting in my bachelor's, I'll say that, but again, for a beginner, probably not so much. HTML and CSS, however, man, you write 10 lines of HTML, you put 10 lines of CSS, you got a beautiful looking nav bar already ready to go. Okay, no programming language is going to give you that. Okay, nothing that you learn in the next 3-4 months is going to give you this much joy. Okay, it's just one of those things that's that's just supremely fun. So yeah, okay, so I've taken a couple of your questions. I'm going to come back and I'll answer all of your questions. Okay, so during the webinar, don't hesitate to keep asking them. I will, at regular intervals, I'll switch back and I'll tell you about it. Okay, your job is to ask questions, you leave the rest to me. All right, and if you don't understand, you ask it again and again. I have no problems, guys. I love doing this. Okay, I love spending time building websites, so please feel free to ask as many questions, basic, advanced, whatever. Okay, or if you just want to share something that made you smile or a design that you really like, please feel free to do that as well. With that said, just a couple of other projects that we did LinkedIn jobs. We built this, guys. Oh, this is not a screenshot from actual WhatsApp. This is something that we built. All right, there's a webinar out there that you can go and check out in the related links, or if you ask, we'll share the link to the webinar in the comment section as well. But yeah, this is what we built, and turns out didn't take a lot of HTML, CSS, probably like 50 lines of HTML, about 70-80 lines of CSS, and yeah, this is what you're able to do. So that's kind of the magic of web dev. Coming to what we'll build today. Okay, and today, as I've said before, if people are just joining in, okay, we are going to be building the slack.com landing page. Okay, Slack is one of the most heavily used chat applications in organizations, okay, for professional communication. Like at Edyst, for instance, we've been using Slack for about 4 years to chat between the teammates in our office. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff that you can do in chat in Slack. Okay, you have your channels, and so you can have like a channel where everybody is posting memes through the day. We have one of that. Yeah, oh, by the way, people from Edyst, if you guys are watching, don't worry, I'm not going to open up the actual company Slack this thing, so your secrets are safe with me. Our conversations will remain private. So yeah, so I'm not going to be building the actual Slack application. What I will be building is the web page that Slack, the home page of Slack. Okay, the web page where they tell you what they are, which kind of a company they are, what do they do. It's a marketing web page. Okay, and it's beautiful, guys. It's amazing. All right, we'll check out the live website in just 2 minutes. But before that, just want to remind you guys, at Edyst, we run this bootcamp, this web development bootcamp called the Edyst Web Master Bootcamp. The hope or the intent and all of our efforts, guys, is to help beginners to this field. All right, people who have not necessarily done a lot of HTML, CSS. Our aim is to help these people, put them through this intensive, exercise-driven, project-heavy 4-month, 5-month bootcamp that we have at Edyst. It's 100% online with mentor support, with regular doubt clearing sessions, and with hundreds of exercises, okay, lovingly created to help you guys pick up the basics of HTML, basics of CSS. Then we work our way towards being intermediate, then a little advanced, then we learn JavaScript, then we learn a little more JavaScript. We build 10 front-end projects. Then we pick up Python, we pick up SQL, we learn about backend web development. So we put you through this 4-month, 5-month community, it's community-driven program, bootcamp, right? Where I'll be a principal instructor, and we help you become a full stack web developer. In the sense that you will be able to build applications such as Zomato, or for instance StackOverflow, or Medium.com, or even WhatsApp. All right, so applications like this are what we'll teach you how to build as part of our bootcamp. So please do check us out. The link is given here, the link is given in the description below. And while you're doing that, guys, smash the subscribe button. Okay, I'm new to this. All right, I'll get it right. I'll speak it exactly the way all your favorite YouTubers do. But yeah, smash that like button, subscribe to us, share this video, get a lot of your friends in. All right, writing code, developing code, building websites is a lot more fun when there are a lot of people around, a lot of ideas flying thick and fast. I'll be doing something, you'll say, hey, why don't you center this? Oh, have you checked out this website? Oh, have you checked out this design? You can have a great conversation while we are writing code. All right, so please share this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon. All right, so I've checked off the list of everything that a YouTuber is supposed to do. Now I'm going to check off things that a developer is supposed to do, right? And I'm going to take you to let's go here. Okay, all right, so this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to build this web page. Okay, this is the slack.com web page, and Slack is basically an application like this. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly walk you through the web page. Okay, take about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just to give us a mental overview of what it is that these guys are doing, okay, and what it is that we should be doing, right? And after that we'll get to coding. Okay, I'm going to put up a countdown again. I don't know if you enjoy it. I certainly enjoy being under that time pressure. 45 minutes, see how much you can do. And if we are not able to build this whole thing in one webinar, I don't mind spacing it out. Okay, so we'll see how much we can do in 45 minutes, and then maybe we'll come back another webinar next week, wrap it up. And yeah, so going through the website, couple of things that really stand out to me, that make this web page so beautiful to look at, so delightful to look at. You'll notice that unlike a lot of other web pages, there's a lot of it feels like there's so much the interactivity in this page. Like, this page isn't static. It's not just an image. They actually embedded some sort of a GIF, or probably it's a video, right? Take a look at this. Like, you come to this web page and your eyes are immediately drawn to this little piece of interactivity that they have. Look at their buttons, beautiful, well spaced out. I love the purple color scheme that they've chosen. Very iconic, very classic, right? I look at the color purple on a web page and it immediately makes me think of Slack. That's how beautifully these guys have used it. Personally love it. You'll notice how they've they give you a small demo of the project itself. All right, they give you a small demo of what Slack is, what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so it's, as you can see, it's a chat application. Everybody can chat. You can share a bunch of files. You can integrate it with a bunch of tools, which makes it really powerful. All right, WhatsApp is a good chat application, but again, it's mostly for small groups where you don't really have to share a bunch of stuff. Slack, on the other hand, built for productivity, right? Built for big teams to collaborate and to work together. And then you see, I mean, the images that they have, again, good images, beautiful images, nice clear fonts here. I don't know about you, but I am a sucker for websites where the text is very easy to read. All right, I do not like websites where they have like a low contrast font, like a light gray font, okay, like a hipster sort of color scheme. All right, where they're going for that little blurry effect all through the web page. I absolutely hate it. I love it when companies use big bold colors, when the text is legible, text is big enough for me to see. The buttons are nice and good. They don't do too much. You take a look at this here. It's a beautiful template for a lot of landing pages, right? So it doesn't have to be Slack. It could be some other tech company, okay, some AI company who might want to design their web page this way. All right, some content on the left, some images on the right, and then you kind of switch it. This is a very common pattern that you see in a lot of web pages. So that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. And this is another classic feature that you find in almost all marketing websites. The landing pages, when you want to tell the world about what kind of a product you are. So you're going to you have cards, you hover over them, you see, you get that nice it just pops out a little. Yeah, I love that effect, and it's so easy to do this using CSS. Oh my god, I mean, it should not be this easy to build this animation, but it really is. Okay, it's a beautiful two-liner CSS transition. If we get time today, I'm going to show you. And yeah, and that's the beauty of this web page, right? Doesn't have a lot of colors. They chose a decent font. It's not the most innovative font in the world, but it's good to look at. It's such a good looking web page, right? And they've used videos, which I really like. But here's what really that's not very evident. Okay, so Slack, the slack.com page, right? This the content changes depending on whether you're viewing it in a browser. So in a browser it will look like this, but if you're viewing it on I don't know, like a tablet, okay, like one of those Samsung Galaxy tabs, or just something with a slightly bigger screen but not as big as the desktop, you see that they added a different video. Like it's not the same video. Watch very carefully. All right, so if I zoom out just a little bit, you'll notice that the video is horizontal, but then when you just like resize the web page, they're using a different video. And I don't know if you're able to appreciate why they're doing this, okay, but it's to make sure that, if you had a horizontal image over here, there wouldn't be enough, like there'd be a lot of white space over here. Okay, a lot of thought goes into building this. All right, why they would go for vertical one place, horizontal in another, yeah, they do this. They made it responsive. So if that's another word that you guys might have heard of, responsive web design. This is responsive web design. Okay, so you build one web page, and depending on where you're watching it, okay, whether you're watching it on a mobile phone or you're watching it on a desktop, all right, the way that these elements are arranged on the screen, that itself changes. Okay, that is responsive. All right, that is responsive to the thing that you're trying to build, right? So hopefully I've given you a good enough demo of what Slack looks like. We're going to try and make so I was thinking we'll start off with making the mobile version first. Okay, no particular reason. I mean, I just feel like it's simpler for you guys to follow along, at least in the first part of this webinar. It's going to be easier for us to do like a one column thing. Okay, we're going to build the entire thing, and then we're going to take a look at what it is that we have to add, so that if I were to resize my page, I can make this magic happen. Okay, so we'll take a look at that, and probably towards the end of the webinar I'll leave you with some ideas, and then we can take a look at it. Probably in the next webinar we'll actually end up coding it all up. All right, so I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys got your coding gear on. The general way that I recommend to people as to how I want you guys to build this is that I generally go for something called as code pen. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, I don't know if that's a great idea, but I just want you guys to be able to see how a mobile layout looks like. The place that I go to when designing websites, that just like a quick design challenge, I generally go to this website called as Code Pen. Okay, and I go ahead and I build my designs here. The benefits are, again, you get to see, like if I added a paragraph of text, okay, if I did this, then I would easily get like a preview over here. Okay, easy to see preview, fun for me to code along. I could also do this locally. Then I'd have to resize my browser window and stuff, and I'm feeling a little lazy, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to do this right before we start. I'm going to set up a timer, 45 minutes as promised, and yeah, let's see how that works out. So while I am doing that, in case you guys have any questions, sure, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to take a look at that. Probably not. I'll come back to the actual questions in just a bit. All right, 1 second. Yeah, there we go. 45 minutes, and it's time for us to build Slack. Okay, so the way I go about it is I generally try to I try to copy a lot of the text and all that these guys have. Okay, so we're going to stick to like a mobile layout. All right, I hope this is good enough for you guys. I'm going to make the fonts a little bigger and all, so don't worry about that. So let's just go ahead and and just copy stuff. So I'm going to start off with like a typical nav bar, okay, inside a header, okay, put in a header. I'm going to put in a nav bar. The nav bar is for this bit here, okay. I'm just going to see if these guys use an image. Oh, actually, so they end up using I think this is like an SVG that they use. Oh, very interesting. So all right, probably we won't use an SVG. Let's see if I can get the image. Maybe this too is an SVG. Oh wow, great. All right, so I don't want to use SVGs because you guys will get confused. So let's just go for like Slack logo transparent. Okay, let's see if we can get, if some person on the internet has decided to make my life easy. All right, okay, this seems all right. I mean, it's an older it's an older version of Slack. So let's see. So I wanted to point to https slack.com, and since it's a link, I just want to put in an image inside here. Let's see, I'm going to say Slack logo. First thing that I do with any image, okay, is that I make sure that it doesn't have like some unreasonable width. So I could probably give this like a class, okay, and I could call it logo, and I could go ahead and say that, you know what, my logo, the width, or even better still, I think I'll stick around the height, shouldn't be more than this big. I think 4 rems is all right. The nice Slack logo there. Oh, okay, we want this on mobile, right? Yeah, so we want this. Again, I don't know if I picked if this is the best picture to pick. All right, so you're gonna have to experiment a little bit. Just find some picture that works for you. Okay, that's a nice transparent picture, and then you can go ahead and use that kind of, right? So I'm gonna give it this, and let's see what these guys have. So they have like a nav bar, all right, and the nav bar has this logo. It has a bit of spacing, right? It has a bit of padding, and then it has this this hamburger menu icon. Okay, so I'm going to tackle that in just a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the navigation inside my header, I want it to be decently padded. Okay, which means I want a bit of space here, here, and here, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So if you notice, if I bring it up or down, pretty much stays where it is. And probably what these guys have going on here is, I don't know if you can see it, I don't know if it's very visible on the stream, but they have like a small like a shadow, like a very, very light shadow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add that actually. All right, so I'm going to add a box shadow. Let's see, is this small enough? Okay, I mean it's barely visible, okay, which is where we want it to be. We want it to be barely visible. The other way to kind of do this is just to give it a border bottom. Okay, that works as well. So you could just give it a 1 pixel border on the bottom. All right, so it's going to add like a small line over here. One thing that we do, I don't like it when the browser automatically adds padding and margins to my stuff. So I usually I apply this reset. It's basically my way of telling the browser that, hey, you know what, I got this, I'm going to specify all the margins, all the spacing myself. I don't need you to be creative with that. Okay, so yeah, so now you see that it kind of spans the whole thing. Okay, otherwise there was a small bit of padding that the browser automatically applies. Okay, so our navbar is looking okay. All right, it's not pixel perfect, but that's fine, we'll get there. We have Slack over here, so this is good. And then let's see, now what we want to do, we're going to come to this bit, just a little bit. All right, probably not immediately. I want to first start off and design this web page, okay, this part of my page. So I know that this is the main heading for Slack, right? So it's pretty simple how you would do this in HTML, okay? So you're just gonna, I like to do this, okay? You don't have to, I like to. So I generally go ahead in my section, I just create a new section. This is going to be my I don't know, I'm going to call it my hero section, all right? And this piece of text here, Slack is where work happens. This is a proper first degree heading, okay? So I'm going to add it as a heading there, and then I'm going to make a paragraph out of this, okay? So this is like a subtitle, it's like a subheading or a subtitle. I don't know, I mean, to me it looks like a paragraph. Paragraph is a good element for this, and you can see that everything's sticking together, not what we want, but we'll go ahead and we'll change that in just a bit, okay? Just want to wrap up the text, okay? Just make a couple of quick links. This try for free and contact sales, they look like buttons, but they're actually, they're links. You click on them, it takes you to a different page, right? So I'm going to put in contact sales here. Let's see. So we want to make both of these try for free and contact sales look like buttons, okay? And we'll do that in just a bit, just a little bit. This is very interesting, okay? This is not an image. Turns out it's not a GIF. It's not any of that actually. It's a video, okay? And I think this is the first time in all the webinars that we're adding a video to a web page. It's as easy as this, okay? Ideally you want to get the source of the video right here. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, okay? I'm going to copy the video address and just kind of paste it here, and you're going to see what magic happens now. So you see this, right? So it's going to, I have my video here. All I need is a couple of other places where I can kind of play them, all right? So I could do something like controls equal to true or something, all right? And then it'll give me controls for this video, so I can like play it, and then you'll see that you get the same behavior that you have here, okay? It starts to play, all right? This video is going to start to play. The only problem is, guys, a video stops playing after a while. So we need to make it, first of all, we need to make it a little responsive. Even if I make this bigger or smaller, the video is still trying, to take its own merry size. We don't want that. We'll fix that. The second thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that this video kind of, keeps playing automatically, okay? I don't want my user to come and click on play and then pause and stuff like that. I don't want any of that. So we can take a look at what Slack does, all right? Over here you'll notice that they're using a video tab as well, okay? They've added a bunch of options here. So they've said autoplay, loop, muted, and plays in line, okay? These are a lot of attributes, okay? So for instance, when I added controls equal to true, that's what it did, right? It gave us a set of controls here to maximize and all of that, like it's an actual video. But I don't want my user to feel like they have to press play on the video. So what I can do is to this video tag itself, all right? So I'm just going to change the link a bit. Let's see if the WebM version works for Slack. Nope, doesn't. Turns out they want us to use the MP4. Great. So they want autoplay for sure, okay? And then you also want it to be mute, okay? You can't have videos autoplay if they have sound, all right? And yeah, just with that, you see what's happened. The web page draws a video, okay? Because I say, give me a video element, finds out the video from this location, gets that, puts it over here, and then just starts playing it, okay? There's no sound to the video, so obviously the muted attribute. We can add plays inline as well, all right? It's not going to make I'll probably get into what that attribute is in a different video, in a different webinar, but yeah, for now we have the main elements of this page ready. Good job to us, okay? It's a couple of like really quick changes and we'll be good to go. Okay, so if I say, you know, the video inside my hero section, okay, any video inside my hero section, I wanted to have a max width of about, you know, 95% of the page. Okay, I don't want it to, you know, be too big. All right, I generally don't want this video to, you know, if I make it much smaller, I want the video to become, you know, smaller with me. All right, not to do its own thing. So I'm going to say, you know, what max width is 95%. I'm also going to make it center aligned. All right, so I don't know if you can see it here. All right, but it's kind of aligned to the left now, and this is how it's going to get center aligned. Just 1 second. Oh, this video is not inside a thing, is it? So just make it a display block or something, right? And then it's going to, you know, center itself. So that's great. The other thing is these guys actually have like a nice, I don't know, guys. Is this like, is the video taking the full width? Probably is, right? The video is probably taking the full width. Okay, we can actually give it 100%. I guess that's all right. Okay, the other thing we kind of want to do is for this hero section, right? The entire hero section has the same background color as this guy, right? As the video. So I'm just going to find like a color picker, okay? And then we're going to end up picking the color that Slack is using for this. All right, let's see. Okay, let's just get their color picker. This is the color that Slack is using. Okay, so we go here. We're going to say that, you know what, my entire background for the hero section, I wanted to have this background color. Okay, and just like that, we're getting there. We're getting close, right? We need to make our buttons look decent, obviously, but apart from that, I think, you know, we're set. We're good to go here. Okay, we can try picking, you know, so the first thing that I'm now going to do is I'm going to kind of style the headings. Okay, then I'll style the paragraph, and then we'll style these two buttons. Okay, so with that, we'll have the first section done and dusted. We can move on to the rest. So let's see, probably I want all of my header elements to have the same font size. Okay, my heading elements, I don't know if 3 rems is what they want. 3 rems is again probably too big. We can see what Slack uses. Okay, so Slack wants, you know, it probably uses something like where's the font size, guys? It's 2.75. Oh man, okay, so these guys are using like a responsive font scale. Okay, that's gonna kill us. I don't know if I can explain that to you in this video, but yeah, so I'm going to keep it to something a little smaller, 2.5 probably. Okay, and you notice that the reason it doesn't look exactly the way we want it to, okay, is because we don't have the correct font. Okay, we don't have a great font for Slack. So let's just quickly hop over to Google Fonts. Okay, let's get our font first. Let's get a nice beautiful font, and then we're going to go ahead and, you know, kind of play around with how big or how small it's supposed to be. Okay, while I'm doing that, let me just quickly take a couple of questions in case you guys have something. Yep, Shrikant has the right idea. He wants me to loop the video. That's exactly what we did when we say autoplay, when we put that autoplay attribute on there, right? And yeah, good catch, by the way, Shrikant. So Bhavani says, do we require any local host? So you would need it. Okay, I mean, look, if you're working on a laptop, or if you're working on a desktop, the laptop is your local host. Okay, it's like you have slack.com. okay, when you hit that, your browser takes you to the actual slack.com website. If you're on the desktop and you want to type something like localhost over here, it's going to try and search for websites on your machine. Okay, if your laptop was a web server, that's the address to that's what localhost means. As long as you're doing it on CodePen, okay, you don't need any of that because it gives you a nice preview right here. Okay, and yeah, as long as you use CodePen, you probably don't need that. But yeah, for other stuff you will need to, like if you're building a proper web application, especially if it's like a React application, okay, they help you run it in a local host. I mean, they create that for you. Okay, they serve that web page on the desktop, so you can go to localhost 8080 and you can find your web page. For people who don't know what localhost is, ignore what I just said, like the last 10 seconds, just erase it from your memory. Not important at all. You guys, beginners, please focus on CodePen. Focus on building stuff here. Okay, focus on building stuff. All this jargon, this technical nonsense, you'll pick up in no time. Okay, that's not the hard part. Right, a couple of good questions here. So Rupesh asked a nice question. How much time do you take to become a good web developer? How many years should we spend to get a job? Should we learn to design a nav bar, or just using Bootstrap is enough? So 3 questions. I'm going to take your first question now because my countdown is running, and if I don't do this in 45 minutes, you guys are going to be a little pissed. So probably at the end of that 45-minute countdown, I don't know, I'll answer the other 2. But the first question, how much time do you need to be a good web developer? I have a very simple answer that I give to beginners. Okay, just clears out all the craft. Build 100 websites, ugly ones, like some websites you will not get the fonts right, some websites the images will look different, some websites you're not able to position stuff, some websites it's not responsive. But every website you build, okay, that you set yourself a challenge, kind of what I'm doing here, Rupesh. If you do that, right, that's going to motivate you, that's going to stimulate your brain. Every website that you build, a lot of these patterns you internalize, right? So you'll quickly be able to look at a design and say, oh hey, this is a nav bar, this is so simple, it's a nav bar. This guy's probably using flex with 2 columns or grid with 3 columns. It becomes that much simpler with every new website that you design. All right, if it takes you a year to build 100 websites, that's the amount of time it takes to be a good web developer. If you build 100 websites in say 3 months, 1 website a day, 3 months is all it takes for you to be a good web developer, right? There's some time that you have to spend trying to learn HTML and CSS, but again, that's insignificant here. I mean, there's nothing much to learn here. Okay guys, I keep telling you this. HTML, CSS, it's a very simple sort of rules that you have to pick up. P is for paragraph, img is for image. Like, what do you have to learn there? Color is for setting the font color, background color is for setting background color. HTML, CSS, easy stuff. JavaScript also, like you do 15 days for JavaScript, you're pretty much set. Okay, but yeah, build 100 websites. Yeah, that's the goal you should give yourself. 100 websites, put it on an Excel sheet, try to do one every day or every 2 days, and then accordingly you'll know when you're ready. Okay, basically if I give a design to you, you should be able to just quickly give me what I need. Let's see, Slack kind of uses its own font. Okay, it's a proprietary font, so I can borrow their videos and their images while mocking their website up, but I can't really borrow their font. Okay, it's a paid font. They'll throw me in jail if I try to steal that. Not going to do that. Okay, not a good idea. Just stick to something that's free. Like, I think Quicksand, okay, this kind of looks like Slack. I don't know. I think it looks like Slack. Guys, if you find a better font in the comment section, please do let me know. It's very easy to kind of switch out the fonts. So I go to this website, Google fonts.google.com, select all the variants of my font that I want, and then I copy paste this. I'm going to come here, put it right up at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to say that for my body, okay, everything, I just want the font family to kind of be Quicksand. Okay, so I think it should pick it up. And if you can't find quicksand, just go with something like sans serif. Oh man, quicksand is so not the font that we want. Oh my god, okay, I think I messed up. I don't know guys, like find me a good font here, find me a good beautiful font. I don't know if Poppins or Kumbh Sans is the answer. Like, I'm getting a lot of interesting fonts here. Okay, but yeah, just find a half decent font. Okay, I'm going to stick with this. Looks nothing like this, but guess what guys, that's what it is. All right, let's see, let's make the font weight all the way up to 700. Hopefully we'll get a slightly bolder font. Again, I guess this is how bold quicksand goes. With channels in Slack, let's see, they don't even have like the color, the text color, okay, is not exactly black, it's like slightly off black. Okay, so it's like 111 or something, like I don't know what to call it, light black, dark black, I don't know. Same goes for the paragraphs. All right, turns out the paragraphs are like stupidly thin. I don't want any of that. So let's see, 400, 500 is probably a little bold. Yeah, 500 is good. Okay, so we have this. Now what you want to do is, again, you want there to be some sort of, you know, spacing or padding in the sections. So let's just define a small padding class, and let's see, we probably just want to give padding to our you know, to the sides. Okay, we don't want to give padding to anything else. I'm just going to say section padding, and this is tricky. Okay, let's see, let's put in 1 rems on both sides. I think that should be okay. All right, and for my section, I'm going to give it, like, I'm going to assign it the padding class. Okay, and yep, so it's going to add a bit of padding to what I need, which is good. 1 rem, probably, I don't know, yeah, 5%, is that a good? Probably is. So we have 5% padding there. Let's see, 1 rem on the top seems okay, not too bad. The H1 that I have, it's going to increase the line height to about, I don't know, 1.5. Just make it a little wider. Okay, 1.5 is probably too much. 1.25, yeah, that's more like it. I'm going to give it a bit of a margin to the top. Okay, something like 1 rem. Okay, just so that it's a little separated from that border. Oh, I probably want to give it a bottom margin as well, right? So just, you know, smoosh. I mean, I don't want the text and this heading to smoosh, so just want them to be a little far apart. My paragraph, so okay, one thing I don't do a good job of in these webinars is I don't like make my CSS flow very naturally. Okay, so like don't get annoyed. Okay, it's something I should be doing. So I should be doing a much better job of that. Holy cow. Okay, so we have 20 more minutes to go, a lot of work left to be done. So that's the padding that I want like a line height of, I don't know, for paragraphs probably I can be a little more generous. Okay, but I want a margin here as well. Okay, I want a little bit of margin to my paragraphs. Okay, should I just make them auto? Yeah, probably. So this is good, it is much better. You'll notice that they don't have like this piece of text over here, this subtitle. Okay, this has a lot of you know, it has a maximum width. Okay, so if you make it smaller, it will seem like it's going to take up all the space, but you know, you make it bigger and then it just takes up like a little bit of space. Okay, it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that's what we should do actually. So something like, something like this, like the section head, sorry, so we're going to say that the heading inside hero and the paragraph inside hero, okay, both of them, I want the max width for both of them to be about 400 pixels. Is that good enough? Yeah, that should be good enough. And then we don't want to give it an auto margin, okay, we want everything to be left aligned. So there you go. Okay, so if I make it much smaller than 400 pixels, it's going to take up the entire width. But if I make it larger than 400 pixels, okay, then this is how it looks like, which is pretty good. Okay, this is probably what we want. 350, just so that I get, yeah, 350 is amazing. Okay, great job, guys. I think we are pretty much there. Okay, so this is what Slack wants us to do. And then we've got to style both of these buttons, right? So let's just go ahead and add a class to this. Okay, so I'm going to give it like a button class or like a BTN class. And then this one is, let's see, this is so there's like a lot of common stuff to this. Okay, the only thing that kind of changes is the background. But the font, the fact that it's all uppercase, all of that doesn't change. So I'm just going to make like common styles for a button. Okay, so just make like a .btn, give it a bit of padding at the top. All right, and let's see, we probably don't want to give it any padding there. On the sides, I just wanted to expand to however much it can. I'm going to make them block displays. So try for free and contact sales are like blocks now. They come one after the other. Text align, I want it to be center. All right. Oh, I want this to have the button class as well. Okay. So we have these two, which is great. I'm going to put in the text transform as uppercase. I'm going to say text decoration is none, because while it's a link, I want it to look like a button. Okay, so we're already there, we're already doing great. Probably increase the font weight a little. Okay, make it 600 or something. That should be good. And the font size obviously is going to be a little lower. Okay, it's not going to be as big as my paragraph here. Okay, I think this might be too small. Again, not sure. Yeah, so my paragraphs, I have like a decent line height. Just want it to be a little more spaced out. This is good. We have our two buttons here, right? So we've got to work with the buttons now. Let's see, I want probably, I want a margin top of about 1 rem. So the two buttons, I just want them to be slightly far apart. And yeah, that's what I want. So now you'll notice there's a purple button and then there's like a transparent button. Okay, let's see if we have more buttons that we need to style this way. So you see these guys, right? So all of them, okay, they're pretty much the same. Okay, they're the same styles that we're going to use. All of these guys, we'll give them the same button style. What's common to them is, they have borders, and yeah, what else do they have? So they have like a really thin border. This is interesting. They have a thin border. I guess we have to give them a background. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say, what, you have an outline button. Okay, outline buttons are basically buttons that don't have any they don't have a background per se. Like this has a white background, this doesn't have a background. The other thing that we could do, again, okay, let me do something really simple. Okay, let me just say there's a background white. Okay, and all it does is it sets the background color to white. I'm going to add like a background purple. Okay, and all this class does is it sets the background color to purple. Okay, I'm going to make a text white, okay, and this guy sets the text color to white. So I'm just making a few classes that I can use, okay, and I'm going to make something like text purple, okay, and this purple text is, again, it's just going to have like purple colored text, okay. That's fine. Let me go with like border white, okay, and this I'm just going to, 1 pixel solid white border, okay, and I need a border purple, so this is going to be purple, okay. So I just defined like a bunch of really dumb, really simple classes, okay, and how do you guys think I'm going to use it now? Okay, so take a look at this button here right up at the top, okay. It has a purple background, it has white text, and it has like a purple outline, right? That's what we want. So I could just say bg purple, text white, and border purple, okay. And purple, okay, we've got to use the same purple that Slack uses, okay, otherwise we're just going to look like it's definitely not going to look like what we had in mind. All right, so just going to replace the purple color with the actual purple that Slack uses. Exactly, this is what we want. This is what we want, guys. This is exactly what we were going for. Probably make the buttons a little bolder, okay. Try for free. This is slightly advanced. I just want to see if this makes it any better, like adding a little bit of letter spacing. If you use the right font, you don't need to do all of these tricks. The last thing I want to do to our button, okay, the main button class, is I want that to be like a small border radius, okay, just to make the edges a little rounded the way that you have here, okay. I just want them to be a little rounded. So yeah, so that's kind of what we were going for, right? Let's see. So this guy, again, it has a transparent background, so I don't even need to do anything. It has purple text and it has a purple outline, right? The second guy. So I'm just going to say, you know what, text purple and yeah, border purple, okay. And there you go. This guy is going to have like a nice purple border here. My buttons, I want them to have a little bit of spacing. I don't want this girl's head to smush my button. So just want to push that down a little bit. Let's see. So we have like a little bit of spacing, not too much. I'm going to go with just about one more, like this margin here, okay. I think I'm just going to go with a 1px margin for both top and bottom, okay. And yeah, for them to be center aligned in case the width changes. So you smoosh this inside. This is how it looks. Amazing, guys, beautiful. This is exactly how the Slack page now looks like, okay. And this is what we have. So yeah, good job to good job to us, I guess. Let's see, is the video doing something funny? Is it doing something funny? I don't think so. The video is doing just as well, right? Could it be slightly bigger? Probably. Did we add like a padding or something to the video? I don't think we did. Yeah, we didn't add a padding, so that's all right. So something that we could have done here, just for this guy, right? I just want the margins to be slightly bigger. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, let's just keep this to auto. Okay, we were doing okay. We were doing all right. Let me just say 0. Does that? Okay, that does. Fine. So we have the main thing set up. We have the nav bar. We have the main text. We have a couple of buttons. Ideally, we want to do a little bit of magic with these buttons. Okay. You want to, on hover, do something else. Okay, make it darken a little bit. All right, so stuff like that, right? We want to do that. We want the border to definitely, we want the border to become slightly bigger. That's definitely what we want. Interesting. Let's see what we can do here. So I could say something like, if you are hovering over something with a, if it's a button and it has a purple background, all right, and you hover over it, what I want you to do, hover means you basically, you bring your mouse on top of it. Okay, I want the background color to change. Okay, first of all, I can't have it this way. Okay, so let's see. Just want to give it like a slight purple. Okay, let's not do it this way then. Okay, what do we do? So can we apply like a CSS filter? Okay, so CSS filter is probably not the best idea. Let's just stick to our background color. Okay, and let's try and get like, what is the color that these guys have. Okay, so let me set up the hover class on this. Okay, and then we'll be able to see what color it has. Like the darker color, that's the color that we want, right? So the darker color that you see here is this. Oh, okay, we've been using the darker color all this while, guys. I think we're supposed to use like the lighter color everywhere else. Okay, so it's a slightly different shade of purple that we were using everywhere else. So just going to go ahead and quickly change that. Okay, so now do you see? Now when I hover over it, it's going to make it darker. Okay, and that's exactly what we wanted. So yay to us. Okay, good stuff there. The last thing that remains is, you kind of want to style the button borders. Okay, like it's a very subtle effect. Like you come on top of it, it just comes inside just a little bit. It smushes inside, right? So that's going to be an interesting challenge. Not really. What you want to do again is, if it's a button and if it's like border purple, okay, and if you're hovering over that button, what you want to do is you probably want to make the border grow a little bit larger. Okay, so you just want to increase the border width, okay, on hover. So this is what's going to happen. Okay, now you might be thinking, yeah, but in the over here, for instance, okay, this doesn't seem to like make it bigger or smaller, whereas what we're doing here, once you hover over it, it's just going to, it seems like it's going to make it bigger. Okay, that's technically not the case. We also need to change the border color a bit. Okay, so this is what you would want. Just want to make it a little darker. Okay, what you need here, guys, is whenever I'm applying a transition on a button, okay, I'm going to apply this one property that says, take 300 milliseconds to transition, which means, so just give me 1 minute and I'll have it ready for you guys. Okay, so I can just say transition duration 300 milliseconds, or I can just say 300 milliseconds all. That's also fine. So now you'll notice that it doesn't happen immediately. Okay, the change in color, okay, happens gradually. It happens slowly. Let me remove this border width thing, and you may be able to see it better. Like now you'll see that it takes about a little bit of time, like 300 milliseconds to transition from one color to other. It's a very slight sort of thing, but yeah, that's pretty useful. Right, guys, 4 minutes left, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the rest of this. Maybe take another 15 minutes, show you one more section. Okay, a lot of this is pretty cut and paste. All right, I just wanted to show you some cool transition effects today. Okay, wanted to show you how to pick good fonts. So at least that way we've kind of achieved our objective. Wanted to show you what the video element can do and how it's, you know, it's great. Oh, it's not looping. Oh my god. Oh, all right. Okay, that's what I was missing. Yeah, this video is supposed to keep playing again and again. Okay, so it's supposed to keep happening. So we just need to add the loop attribute to the video, and it does exactly that. Right. The last thing I want you to do is I want to show you in this webinar is a really cool trick that Slack uses. Okay, to make sure that, you know, when you hover over this and you think that they're increasing the size of the border, that's not actually what's happening here. Okay, so let me quickly see if I can show you what it is that these guys are doing. All right. Yeah, so what they do is when you hover over something, okay, when you hover over this you know, this border purple, anything that has a border purple, they don't increase the width of the border. Okay, what they do is they add a box shadow. All right, and it's an inset thing, which means it's going to grow inwards. Okay, you know how shadows generally go outward, right? Like if I were to add a shadow to this, the shadow would come behind the button, but in this case I want the shadow to come inside the button. Okay, and I've already shown you this before, a tool to, you know, kind of help you build your box shadow. Okay, it's a pretty great tool called, it's literally called CSS box shadow. So I want it to be an inset sort of thing. So you see what it's doing, it's making the shadow come inside the border. Okay, and probably what I want here is just like a 2 pixel thing, something like this. I don't want any displacement. Okay, so something like, I don't know, maybe like a 4 pixel blur radius and a 4 pixel spread radius. Okay, yeah, this should be pretty good. This is exactly what we want. And again, the shadow color, okay, we want the purple that that we are using here. Okay, so it's not the border color that's changing, it's actually the color of the shadow that's changing. All right, this is advanced. Okay, this is slightly advanced. You're not going to know this out of the box. Nobody's going to teach you. You kind of have to, this is why I keep saying that you have to build like 100 websites. Okay, and then it happens. So now do you see this beautiful animation? Like you hover over it, it's actually creating a shadow that goes on the inside. Okay, so it's probably too dark a shadow, but yeah, this is the effect that you probably want. Okay, this is what you want. Maybe just like very slight. Okay, you have to play around with these values a little bit, but yeah, this is what you want. All right, beautiful little effect over here. You can see that for this button and this button we've got it figured out. All right, that I think to you should be pretty exciting. All right, we're almost at the end of our thing. And I just want to, you know, kind of quickly go through the new stuff that we've done in this webinar. Let's see. So we start off again, simple header. Okay, make a nav element, add a link. You style that link later on. Okay, we put an image inside this link here. Okay, that's what we did. Then we added a section called the hero section. Why is it called the hero section? It's just a common terminology. Okay, different websites will call their sections differently, but generally this is called a hero section or a jumbotron. Okay, we added some padding to this so that, you know, it doesn't stick to the sides of our thing. Okay, so when you make it much wider, it doesn't look great. Okay, and that's because we specifically designed it for a mobile width. Okay, we didn't design this for, you know, what happens when it goes to desktop. And for the last piece of magic today, just like a little teaser for what we'll do in the next webinar, where we'll get a lot more practice on these concepts, I'll show you how we can fix this on desktop. Okay, so if you be with me for 5 more minutes, okay, I'm going to show you this little piece of magic, then take your questions, and then finally leave you with some more knowledge about the Webmaster Bootcamp. As I keep saying, it's a bootcamp that we run for beginners. These are the sort of web pages that we help you build, except that there's no time limit of 45 minutes. Okay, I actually go in detail. I help you understand. There's a lot of tests that we write. So if you got something wrong on the Edyst platform, the platform is actually going to tell you, hey, these are the 3 things that you got wrong. Okay, in the Webmaster Bootcamp. So I'll come to that in just a bit, probably towards the end. All right. Just want to show you how it is that Slack is able to, just beautifully change its shape. Okay, when you go from like a mobile view to a desktop view or to a tablet view. Okay, I don't want this image to come below my buttons. On that view, I want it to come side by side. So you're going to use something called as a media query. Okay, and that's fun, that's fascinating. Let's see how we use that. All right, so you'd say something like media, you'd say at media, and you'd say something like if the minimum width of the screen, okay, is something like let's say 500 pixels. Okay, we shouldn't be using pixels and rem at the same time. So I don't know, guys, like something like 40 rems, okay, or 48 rems. So that is the minimum width at what I'm watching. This is not, okay, but when I make it much larger, then that is the minimum width at which I'm watching. Okay, so in that case, what I want you to do is, first of all, I don't want the buttons to go 100%. Okay, so my BTN class, okay, I don't want the display to be block anymore. I want the display to be inline block. Okay, so what does that mean? That means when it gets bigger, okay, it's a block, it stretches to as much as it can. Okay, and then when it can't, it's just going to switch to inline. Okay, which means now I need to give it like a padding left and a padding right. Okay, currently I think the padding for all the buttons is just 1. I just want my buttons to be a little wider, right? That's about it. So let's see, my buttons have a padding of 1 rem. Okay, so I still want the top and bottom still to be 1 rem. It's just that I want the sides to be much much more than 1 rem. Okay, so I want my padding to look like this, 1 rem, or like 2 rems is also fine. All right, this is what you want. And then basically what you're saying is, in the leftover space, okay, in the leftover space, I want this image, I want the video to come side by side. I no longer want them to come separately. Okay, so that's again, that is pretty simple to do. All right, so all you need is okay, guys, let's see what's a good way to do this. So I just want my all of this. Okay, I probably just want to wrap it inside like a wrapper container. Okay, I just want to call it column, and this is where I want to keep all of this, so that it's supposed to be 2 columns. Okay, on mobile obviously 1 column will come after the other, but on desktop I want the columns to come side by side. Okay, so first of all I'll just make like two containers. Okay, 2 containers. On mobile, since I've not said anything about what these containers do, these containers will not magically do anything. Okay, it's still going to behave the way it does. The beauty is, what you can do here is you can say something like this. Okay, I can say that my hero section becomes a grid. Okay, and it's a grid with 2 columns. Okay, so I could say something like grid template columns, and I want to give it some, like, I don't know, like a 50%, 45% sort of thing, and I want to say grid gap is about 5%. Okay, so this is what happens if you are on a screen that has a minimum width. Okay, that if you think better in pixels, let's just say like 600 pixels, 600 pixels, 620 pixels, I don't know, right? So you can put it in pixels here, but I'm just saying, so all of these classes you apply as you want to. Okay, which means if you're on a place where you don't have that much width, this is how it looks. But the minute you're on a screen where you have that much real estate, okay, you have that much space to play around with, you have that much space to work with, okay, this is what we want you to do. All right, I think that this is beautiful. I think this is pretty great. Then you increase it, and it, you know, it still stays the same. All right. Now you'll say that, hey, you know what? This is, you know, this is landscape. Sorry, this is portrait, which means it's a long thing. But actually, if you look on Slack, it becomes horizontal. Okay. So I'm going to cheat a bit. Okay, I'm going to show you how. Just how you can do this, like really easy, and I'm going to make another video just like this, okay, except this time I took the source of the horizontal video. All right, so let's see. So now I have both these videos playing, except that I don't want one of these to play if you know, if my this thing is set. Okay, if I am wider, I don't want one of the videos to come in the first place. So how do I go around doing that? I'm just going to give this, like, just for fun sake, let's just call it video horizontal. Okay, this is the class I want to give it, or let's just call it horizontal for now. And the class name that I want to give this is, I wanted to say you're a vertical video. All right, and then in my media query, guys, what I can do is I'm going to hide the horizontal by default. Okay, so I could say something like, you know, my display. Okay, you know how we set it to block and flex and all of that. So I'm just going to say, you know what, the display is none. So if you're on a normal screen, okay, by default there's no horizontal video. Okay, I don't want there to be I don't want there to be a horizontal video. 1 second. But for some reason it didn't actually, you know, hide this video. Oh, okay, so this is where specificity is going to bite me. Yeah, so this should be good. So I'm going to say that, you know what, in the hero section, okay, I don't want any of your horizontal videos to show up. Okay, but in case, you know, you're beyond a certain width. Okay, so not even this thing, not even like 48 rems. Suppose you are, you know, even beyond that. So something like min width, and let's see what we want. Let's go with like 64 rems. Again, I'm just pulling out some numbers right now. Okay, what I want to do is, in case we are that wide, okay, then I want you to have your display of block. Okay, and I want the other guy, the vertical video, to not have a display. So for the vertical one, I want to set it to, you know, none. So I'll explain the slight bit of magic that's happening here. Okay, everything else stays the same. All of my text, all of my styles stay the same. I come in here, I basically say that, hey, you know, by default, just hide the horizontal video. Okay, I know it's on the page, but I just don't want to preview it. Okay, by default. However, if you're at a position where you know, there's space for this guy to come vertically, okay, for it to show up vertically, then just, you know, just keep it there. Okay, let it be vertical. That's fine, that's okay. And then the minute you kind of get it a little bigger, okay, you have more space to play with, then I want you to make it horizontal, right? This is exactly what Slack wants us to do. And there's a bunch of things that you can do here. You can obviously, you have to change the kind of padding that is there on both sides. So you'll probably want to change it somewhere inside here. Okay, you want to change your padding class. So something like your max width would be something like I don't know, like anything inside my padding. I just want the max width to be like 1100 pixels. Is that good? 1200 pixels. Okay, and like everything after that, okay, just start increasing the margins after this. All right. So yeah, so you can set up these conditional rules. Okay, you can set up a bunch of these conditional rules. And yeah, you can have your horizontal video. You can obviously change the size of the headings over here, change the size of the paragraph, make it look much more like what Slack has. All right. So with that, I'm pretty happy with what we achieved. On mobile, it looks a certain way, the flow is a certain way, but on desktop, the flow is a certain other way. So yeah, so I hope this has been fun and informative for you. Just going to take your questions now. Okay, I'm sure you guys have had a few questions about what we were doing in the last 45 minutes. Guys, if you love what we did, please like the video. Please tell us what you want us to build next. Okay. Thank you, Shrikant. Thank you, Rashmika. Thank you, Edyst. Edyst is just my my teammates. Just I think that they like the video. They like the thing that we did. Buchi Raju, AS Vinayak. Oh, okay, Vinayak. I don't know if you're here on the call. I mean, if you're here on the webinar right now, but that's what we did. We made a responsive website. Half of you, I think it's Friday night, I guess, time to party. I don't know what you guys are doing on in COVID, like why is Friday evenings means time to party for you guys, but take care. Go ahead, enjoy your lives. Not an issue. Right, a bunch of these questions already answered by the Edyst team. So yeah, Vinay, so what I usually do is I usually ask people to go to the code pen and check out the code for this below. This time, however, I think I would much rather you try this inside the Edyst Webmaster Bootcamp. We have a free module called the Playground module, right? You just come in here, you sign up. There's a bunch of exercises that you can try out without paying. You can learn the very basics of HTML and CSS using the kind of questions that we build. The kind of questions on Linux. There are questions on so there are a bunch of questions that way. Okay, so you come in here, you sign up for this course. These are the kind of the tutorials. We have videos, we have coding challenges. A lot of people have enjoyed, a lot of people have liked it. We give you instructions, we tell you what to build, and then you can it's kind of like CodePen. So you could do something like this, and we have a live preview here. Plus we have a bunch of tests. Okay, so I think this is a good way to learn rather than rather than copy pasting code from a webinar that you saw. I would much rather that you saw this video, you follow along, type in the code yourself. It's just 20 lines of HTML, probably around 40-50 lines of CSS. Oh, okay, we have 100 lines of CSS, but like a lot of it is just these guys. Okay, the borders there. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It takes a lot of effort to show up week after week, to do these webinars, to keep it fun, engaging, informative for you guys. So if you show us love in the form of likes, in the form of subscriptions, sharing, if you comment actively, okay, it just gives me that much more enthusiasm, that much more motivation to keep doing this week after week, right? Upcoming webinars, I think you can be a little excited about this. We're going to finally get to building WhatsApp dark mode right after I do part 2 of the Slack webinar, right? And at the end of the Slack 2 webinar, I can actually show you, I'll share my code with you, right? No issues there. Webmaster Bootcamp, guys, we've put in a lot of effort, a lot of time has gone in. It's not just me, but a bunch of other instructors, bunch of other mentors have carefully designed exercises to take, beginners, to help. Like, we're not expecting you guys to come in with like 2 years of knowledge of programming. That's not doable, okay? So we just want you guys to show some interest. We want you guys to feel enthusiastic, to feel passionate. Oh my God, in 1 hour, can we really build the Slack homepage? Turns out we did a pretty good job here. We added animations, we added transitions, we made it responsive, and all this a web developer can do in 1 hour. And I mean, I'm not even the best web developer around. Like, I'm not even, I have to stop at every 5 minutes to kind of slow down, make sure it's accessible to you. But yeah, that's the power of web development, right? You can build something beautiful without writing complex for loops, without writing classes, okay? None of that boring stuff. Okay, none of that boring stuff. Web development is fun. We've tried to keep that element of fun, engagement, the spirit of learning together. We've tried to build all of that into our Webmaster Bootcamp. The link to the Webmaster Bootcamp is down below. We help you build a bunch of kick-ass projects. Okay, that's what this is about. We want you to build wonderful projects. I'm not the guy who says, hey, you know what, just go to Mozilla Web Network, read all the CSS that you need, it's free, you're going to learn everything. Turns out it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. Like, if you were, I don't know, man. I think like, for me, the best way to learn was to make 100 websites, to learn in a very structured manner. I'm a IIIT Hyderabad graduate. That's my alma mater. So I've always had these very motivated friends of mine who would sit day in, day out, writing code. So I personally never have felt the need for, I mean, I was always learning in that environment, like the night right before your exam, okay, 10 people sitting in one room, everybody trying to do the same thing. Somebody has a new idea, they teach it to the other people. That sort of spirit is what we wanted to cultivate at Edyst. When you're learning at Edyst, right now, due to COVID, it's a very lonely experience of learning online. Okay, we want to rectify that. We want to make sure that nobody feels that way. We don't want to give you a bunch of 100 videos and say, hey, you know what, go ahead, learn HTML on your own. We want to be there. We want to design 500 exercises. We want to keep adding exercises. We want to make projects, right? Give you new projects, so that, for the validity of your course, okay, you always have something that's a little bit more than the next guy who's applying for the job. Just that tiny bit of edge. Okay, the other guy is, oh yeah, no React. You, on the other hand, excuse me, I built 4 projects, full stack applications using React, using Flask, deployed it on AWS. Here are the 3 links to my projects. Imagine how impressed an interviewer is going to be. They're going to love you. They're going to love you if you show up like that with 4 projects. Do they care whether you know React or not? Guys, when they pay you 50,000, 1 lakh a month, they want you to be able to pick it up in 7 days. You're going to do that. Learning React is not the problem. But how do you get into those jobs in the first place? You get into those jobs not by saying, hey, I'm a React developer, I know React. Nobody's going to take your word for that. You get into those jobs by showing that you have projects, okay, stuff that you've built, that you have the stamina to sit on a Friday evening after a webinar and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go quickly have dinner. My mom's cooking something really special, but I'll come back, rewind the video, and while Abhinandan is, Abhi's saying, hey, add a heading, add a paragraph, I'm going to try and follow along. I'm actually going to type in that code, okay. that guys is what is going to make you a brilliant web developer. That is what is going to get you a job. Okay, the ability to make 100 websites, the sheer practice. I mean, certain things, it just comes with hard work, it just comes with practice. All right, and I know you guys, people who've been coming frequently, people who've been coming regularly, who've been showing us love in the playground or in the comment section. I know you guys, yeah, you guys want to learn. I know you love this. Why else would you be spending like an hour and a half on a beautiful Friday evening? It's because you want to upskill yourself. It's because you want to learn stuff, right? So if you want to learn in a structured manner, if you really want to take away something from this webinar, rewind and do this code yourself. Okay, and if you're excited, if this is the kind of project that you want to build as part of learning something, then please do check out the Edyst Webmaster Bootcamp. I'm there on chat. You don't have to pay to talk to me. I'm there. I love helping people out, even if it's a basic doubt on, hey man, I don't even know if I want to become a web developer, can you like give me 3 reasons why I should do? More than happy to help you on chat, more than happy. All right, with that, I am signing off for today. Hope you guys had a great time. We'll return with part 2 of this webinar next week, and we're going to quickly wrap up the rest of the sections. All right, a lot of the magic we kind of did today. Next week, it's all about, you know, getting the finishing touches. Okay, adding the footer, adding a couple of sections in between, and there you go. We have the entire Slack landing page built across 2 webinars. That is amazing. All right, have a wonderful weekend, guys. Don't party, use the time to study, use the time to learn something new. All right, with that, this is your friend, your older brother Abhi signing off. Show us some love, like, share, subscribe. I will see you in the Edyst playground until then. Right, bye guys.